Welcome back to the Sunshine Coast for the second event, and it's a benchmark 68 handicap over the 1,800 metres. No scratchings. Better Not Bitter is the one. Andrew Mellion for Chris Lees.
Thank you, Kian. We are making up time after that delay to the first, but we'll still be a couple of minutes late here. Better Not Bitter comes through the right form line at Eagle Farm last start. That was a Saturday race behind Hell of a Deal. Went down fighting, running fourth, only beaten 1.7, and from the gun draw today should get all the favours.
Leather Jacket Lou is the two. Michael Carr for Louise White with the Norton bit again.
Yeah, that Norton bit's a key gear change because just over-raced too badly. First up for the stable, finishing last at Doomben at the midweeks. So drops back in grade, gets that gear change. And as you said in the preview, Kian, Louise has a real knack of getting these hard-going horses to relax. And that'll be her job with this fellow.
Lucky Exchange is your favourite, the three. James Orman for Kelly Schweida.
Looks to have the best form in the race, a fifth behind Valente in Saturday grade at Doomben. And then last start, chased home Hell of a Deal, went third. So did beat home Better Not Bitter there as well. They made each other the same at the weights. Form, race tempo suits, ready to hit his peak today. The only probably question mark would be that his form on the synthetic tracks really jumps off the page compared to the turf.
Maui is the four. Josh Adams for Alicia Willick.
My roughie of the race. Great run. Third up for the stable there at Doomben last start over the mile. Really hit the line better than anything. And if you can transfer that form here today, he might just get back into the winner's circle and he looks well.
Agnelli is the five. Michael Murphy for Andrew Cameron.
Formerly with Chris Waller, has had 3 runs for the new stable. Hasn't fired yet. So you've got to take him on trust for now, but he looks well.
All right, how warm is Yangari getting? Just a little bit, not too bad. Blake Spriggs for Robert Heathcote.
Comes through 2 Saturday races. You made the point in the preview. He seems to race best here at the sunny coast. My big query with him is 15 starts on good tracks. He's never run in the top 2.
Di Murphy has the 7. Roman Air, Taylor Marshall.
They've backed him at really big odds. He's another horse that I think is better on the soft or heavy ground than the good. His recent form's acceptable for a race like this.
Talk Like a Star is the 8. Bailey Wheeler for Stuart Kendrick.
The horse with the coolest walk-in racing. She does save her best for this track. A run on the Poly the other day was good. You've got to take her on trust a little bit, though. It's my overall, this campaign, she's been disappointing.
Lago Di Braies is the 9. Luke Tarrant for Vishan Venkaya.
They backed this mare at big odds last start at Ipswich. Nothing much went right. She was a winner 5 starts back and smashed the clock on that occasion. She's a bit enigmatic, but if she fires, she could cause an upset.
All right, Paul, we're trying to make up a bit of time here, as our favourite is out to $3. Better Not Bitter, $3.70 on the second line. Yangari, $6. Not a lot of action for the rest, but the 9, Lago Di Braies, $18 into $11.
So they backed her at Ipswich last start, and that was over a mile. She got a long way back. She found trouble. She hit the line well. So they've been having another crack at her today, and she's not well placed as far as 54 kilos in a benchmark 68, but she's racing well that she could cause that upset, and she's a 7-year-old mare, so she can be a bit hot and cold. But when she's on, she's certainly capable, and she's been back from 18 into 11. But I'll stick with the original numbers, Kian, 3, 4, 1 and 9, 3 Lucky Exchange on top for all the reasons we covered in the preview. He's right at the top of his fitness this campaign. He's got the form on the board. Last start third in a Saturday race behind Hell of a Deal, stacks up well for this, and James Orman takes the ride for Kelly Schweida. So that's good enough for me. Number 4, Maui, was my best roughie in the race. Much improved performance at the third run for the stable. That was behind Russian Warrior at Doomben and carried 60 kilos there. There's a bit of money floating around for Maui as well. I thought paraded really well. Number 1, Better Not Bitter, comes through the same form as the favourite Lucky Exchange. There wasn't a lot between them last start, and there's not a lot between them at the market again today. Better Not Bitter probably takes up a better position in running than Lucky Exchange, but this is a tough 1,800 around the sunny coast. And I threw in the 9 Lago Di Braies at the $18, has trimmed up to $11. So good support coming for the knockout horse in Lago Di Braies. But 3, 4, 1 and 9 for me, Kian.
3, 1, 6 and 2. I made Lucky Exchange a special as well. The 2 consecutive Saturday races were good. We've had good form come out of that, including the Lismore Cup winner in full press, and Dark Harmony, who was able to notch up a Saturday win, but probably just missed the run that Hell of a Deal took last start as well. So that could have been the difference, albeit just a little bit hard to rally late on a dime, particularly when Hell of a Deal had the benefit of Bailey Wheeler's claim. I thought Better Not Bitter's been racing well, sort of loomed good last start, probably the victim of what was a really hot tempo, and that's those same form lines we follow with your Lismore Cup winner. The 6 in Yangari, just wanted to see how warm he got, and he's holding it together okay, and all 3 wins have been here. Last start was a little bit of a head scratcher. He didn't seem to see the mile out, albeit he's won over 1,800. But I'm guessing he was just a bit one-paced and wants the 1,800 up from a mile. And then the 2, Leather Jacket Lou, Norton bit onto harness that energy he likes to spend when he overdid it last start. Got a good record as well, 23 starts, 5 wins, 6 placings. So that Norton bit going on. And Louise White, as I said, does really well with these horses that need a bit of one-on-one time. So 3-1-6-2, but what was our horse with the synthetic form?
The favourite,
Lucky Exchange. Back to that. I just wanted to touch on that. Great synthetic form.
Yeah, that was the only little knock I had on the fave was really the fact that his best form seems to be on the synthetic, 6 starts for 4 wins and 2 seconds. But his recent form has been on good 4 tracks at Doomben and Eagle Farm. So there's no reason he can't carry that here today at the Sunshine Coast. And he paraded great. He's right at the top of his game fitness-wise after the 4 runs back. And, of course, you got Jimmy Orman to do the steering. So a lot to like about the 3 Lucky Exchange. A little bit easy, Kian, 260 out to 310. Better Not Bid has been 330 out to 360. So both the favourites just a touch easy. And the money's come for number 4, Maui. And to a more significant extent, number 9, Lago Di Braies, 18 into 11. The 7-year-old mare, 5 starts ago, she won a race at Ipswich and she absolutely smashed the clock that day. She hasn't done it again since, but you could probably go through her form and make excuses for most of those runs, in particular last start where she ran into all sorts of bother down the straight behind Rock and Artie. And I think Luke Tarrant seems to get on really well with her. So I can see why they've come for her at odds, but hopefully the favourite can just get out to a slightly better price because we've both made it a special.
I've got my reserves on that Ipswich clock.
You do have your reserves on that Ipswich clock.
It's a very fast clock.
It can be fast at times, but we've just got to go with what we see, I suppose. And
maybe Jimmy can take a section of the fence out and run Lucky Exchange around on the inside on the poly. Back up that synthetic form.
Yep, you never know. Funnier things have happened. We're making up time if you just tuned in. Not talking rubbish, making up time. We're making up time literally
so
because we had a
red
delay
light
for the
now
first.
blinking away. We're right
they're
to
doing
run.
Their best to get
Race
them around
number
the gates
2
and
at the
off for race number
1800.
2. Obviously, we've got other races coming up
they're
right
all
behind
in,
us,
racing.
but they are heading around behind
Away
the gates
well
for
was
the
Better
second.
Not Bitter,
They're racing on
likewise
good 4 here
Roman
today. A little bit
and going
overcast,
forward,
but a cool
Leather
day.
Jacket
But,
Lou and Agnelli 4 and 5 wide is going forward as well, followed by Maui over on the outside of Lago Di Braies. Yangari is now 1 horse away from the fence over on the outside of Talk Like a Star, and the race favourite Lucky Exchange has gone back to the rear. Fired up in front, Roman Air here by next second, Leather Jacket Lou, and third, Better Not Bitter. Fourth, the outside is Agnelli. A length and a half to Maui over on the outside of Lago Di Braies, and further back to Yangari and third last ahead of Talk Like a Star. A length away last of all is Lucky Exchange. So Roman Air by half length here. Second, Leather Jacket Lou. Third, Better Not Bitter. And fourth, the outside is Agnelli. 1 further back to Lago Di Braies and Maui the outside. A length and a half to Yangari. Talk Like a Star, the fence, and still last of all is Lucky Exchange. Hasn't been much speed about here. In front, Roman Air by half to 3/4. And second, Leather Jacket Lou. Third is Better Not Bitter. Fourth, the outside is Agnelli. Fifth, the fence is Lago Di Braies. And sixth, the outside is Maui. A length and a quarter to Talk Like a Star. Yangari second last over on the outside. And the race favourite, Lucky Exchange, 2 lengths away last of all. There must be 6 or 7 off the leader. 600 metres left to run. And Roman Air joined here by Leather Jacket Lou. A length away third is Better Not Bitter, endeavouring to get away from the fence and doing so. And Nellie's over on its outside, followed by Talk Like a Star, sneaking up the fence. Running home is Yangari down the outside. Lucky Exchange has still got some work to do. 350 left to run. And Talk Like a Star driving up the inside of Better Not Bitter. Yangari's right down the outside. Better Not Bitter just in front, but Yangari out wide. The fences Talk Like a Star. Lago Di Braies coming home late, but Yangari out wide's a 1, and Yangari for Spriggs is 1. Second might be Lago Di Braies, the lip out of Talk Like a Star in photos. Close up was Better Not Bitter, Maui, and Lucky Exchange. Right.
All right, horse number 6, Yangari, under Blake Spriggs for Robert Heathcote, $572. He loves this track, Paul. All 4 wins have been at this particular track, and he's been able to notch up win number 4 here. Photo second, third, and fourth. They were spread across the plenty of territory there in those final moments there. But another winner in Queenslander, Blake Spriggs.
Yeah, it certainly looked good at about the 200-metre mark, didn't it? We're eight abreast across the track, and Yangari's notched up his first win on a good track today at start number 16, but Blake obviously got him into the perfect part of the track he wanted to get him to and was too good.
All right, let's head to the boys down in Bathurst.
Comes through strong form lines. A Class 1 at Eagle Farm last start behind Sacred Feeling jumps off the page. He was a brave third there after finishing second here behind Kind Wish the start prior. He's got speed to roll forward in a race where there doesn't look a lot of pace, and he's the favourite for a reason.
James Orman rides the 2 in I Prefer Minties for Tony Gollan.
Yeah, she's just a real dour staying type, isn't she? And she got out to the 1800 Eagle Farm last start. Ange Jones gave her a peach, and she broke her maiden and broke it in good style. There's no reason she can't go onto a Class 1 today.
Matthew Powell rides the 3 in Secret Red for John Johnston.
We're both having a little throw at the stumps on him today. He's walking around in the middle of the course, but for him, this is about as good as you could possibly expect him to parade. He's backing up from last Sunday, where he hit the line late over the 1600, recording the fastest final furlong of that race. And he did win his maiden over 1800 here last prep.
He's come a long way because we've seen him upside down in the mounting yard before, so he's been very good. Soobpurb Dancer's the 4, Bailey Wheeler, Morgan Butler.
I think Morgan Butler's got this 5-year-old back in the zone. His last 2 starts have been terrific, in particular his last start third at Doomben, where he should have won. And outside of Secret Red, which I'm happy to gamble on the odds, I think he's the big danger.
Rich Uncle Moneybags is the 5, Michael Carr for Louise White.
You've got to take him on trust. He looks really well, but he was beaten at Nanango last start in a benchmark 50.
Ben Thompson rides the 6, Willnotquit for Kerry Taplin.
Also comes through that Class 1 at Eagle Farm behind Sacred Feeling, but she was 100 to 1 there and ran last, so you take her on trust as well.
Trevor Miller has the 7, Amber Blonde, Luke Tarrant.
Well, you've got to take her on trust. I know she's in the market because she's coming back from Class 3s and Class 4s, and she hasn't been beaten far, but she still only won 1 from 22. So not for me, but wouldn't totally shock.
Ecstasy is the 8, Carl Zetchner for Gina Barbarito.
Yeah, needs to improve on what we saw last start, beaten in much easier company.
Ronald Cameron has the 9, General Woofy, Georgina Cartwright with the blinkers off.
Maybe leads them up here. The blinker's coming off, though, so not sure what that means. 12 starts here for 4 placings. Only 1 win from 27 on good ground and only 1 win from 49 all up.
Greg Gaddy has the 10, Craig Lee Carley, Tiffany Brooker.
He ran midfield behind Alertly Occurrence here, 2 back. Wasn't a bad run, but then 3rd at Nanango last start in a benchmark 50. Very, very rough hope.
Julie Harris has the 11, Set Beat. Nathan Thomas rides with the blinkers back off and the visors on for the first time.
Still a maiden and eligible for easier.
Okay, horses are behind the gates. Race number 3, 1 away from the quaddie. We're going a bit wider here, Paul.
We are, but fairly confident. 3, 4, 1 and 2. I think Secret Red will run a race for us. He was great last week through the line over the mile. He's backing up 7 days later. This is as good as I've seen him parade. So that's a big tick. He can miss the start, so beware of that. But if he jumps cleanly and
he's narrow, isn't he?
He's only narrow.
He's a real stayer.
But he got to 1800 last prep and he won his maiden and won it really well. So I've been waiting for him to get up to a trip. And he's a horse that I've always followed. And you're getting good odds today if you want to gamble on him. Plenty of other chances. The 4, Soobpurb Dancer. Should have won in town last start. Number 1, Valentino Roc, certainly comes here as Mr. Consistency, makes his own luck. And the 2, I Prefer Minty's a touch easy, but she was good winning her maiden in town last start. So they're my 4, 3, 4, 1 and 2. But there's a lot of money around for the 7, Amber Blonde as well, Kian.
Yes, back to a Class 1, key for her, but gee, she won't win, will she? I was with Secret Red as well. He's jumping on terms with them now, so that's a lot better. He's been able to stay in touch with the field. Race shape, I'd love to see them run along a little. We saw a very slowly run race. The first 2 here today, actually, so would prefer a little bit more pressure. And he was the best chaser last start. Very quick last 600. He does have to back up. There's not a lot of him, but he's one of those horses he cops a lot of racing and things like that and can go on with it. The 7 in Amber Blonde, back to a Class 1. She nearly won a Class 4 last start, and then she was good 3 ago in a Class 3, same trip, behind some very nice horses. So she's always thereabouts, but her record just says 22 one start. It's nearly over 2 years ago that she won a race. The 1 in Valentino Roc, big horse, needs room. He'll get that here at the Sunny Coast. Just switched off a little in front last start, I think, but he's got the better form lines. Kind Wish, Freedom Rally, Knight's Choice, Spaceship. So on form, he wins. And then the 2, I Prefer Minty's, 3, 7, 1 and 2.
Righto, Kian, thanks for that. They're loading up well here for the 3rd race. 7-race card today. The money has come for Amber Blonde, 6 into 460. And Valentino Roc, our favourite, has been well supported, 3 into 270. Josh Fleming to call all of the action today. So let's head upstairs.
For Soobpurb Dancer, Willnotquit, Ecstasy to move in. Valentino Roc and Secret Red, and also Set Beat to come up into line. So Valentino Roc has got the outside gate to deal with here, but you'd think he'd roll forward. He has his last couple. clear favourite. I Prefer Minty is in a half-point later money for Amber Blonde as well. Willnotquit's gone in for Ben Thompson, became a dad during the week. And Valentino Roc and also the maiden Set Beat to move in and will be right for the third of the day. We've made a good time from where we were just before race number 1 with that delay. So well done to all downstairs, keeping the wheels turning quite efficiently here. Valentino Roc going in to complete the line. Red light on. Right to go for the third. Racing. I Prefer Minty's dawdled out. We had Willnotquit beginning well, matched in the lead by Rich Uncle Moneybags. Up into third as Ecstasy. Valentino Roc is out 4 and 5 wide, but the favourite going forward and handy is Craigley Carly. Likewise, Amber Blonde on the rails. A length and a half to Set Beat, Secret Red. And they're clear from General Wolf. And second last is Soobpurb Dancer. I Prefer Minty is a length and a half away. In front is Rich Uncle Moneybags here by 2. Second's Ecstasy, and 3 lengths away. Third is Willnotquit, and fourth the outside Craigley Carly. A length and a half to Amber Blonde, and Valentino Roc is midfield the outside, but must be about 8 or 9 lengths off the leader, as Rich Uncle Moneybags has gone about 6 lengths in front of the field now. So this favourite's further back than 8 or 9 now, followed by the Set Beat, Secret Red, and they're trailed by General Wolf, and further back to Soobpurb Dancer. And I Prefer Minty is a length and a half away. So Rich Uncle Moneybags here. Michael Carl at the 800 metres marker. In front by 6 or 7. Second's Ecstasy. A further 3 or 4 further back to Willnotquit. Another break of 2 3/4 to Amber Blonde. And next the outside is Craigley Carly. A length and a half to Valentino Roc is creeping forward now. Passing Set Beat. General Wolf, Secret Red, Soobpurb Dancer, and I Prefer Minty is 5 lengths away. Can Rich Uncle Moneybags keep going at the 400 metres marker? Led by 5 lengths here from Willnotquit running to second. Passing Ecstasy. Valentino Roc is running home. Soobpurb Dancer's right down the outside. Amber Blonde is running home as well. Rich Uncle Moneybags is gone. Willnotquit's taken over. Driving home is Amber Blonde. Down the outside, Valentino Roc. Amber Blonde the inside. Willnotquit. Amber Blonde taking over late, and Amber Blonde. Amber Blonde has won from Willnotquit, Valentino Roc and Soobpurb Dancer. Secret Red followed by General Wolf, and they break right away from I Prefer Minty's Ecstasy. Craigley Carly, Rich Uncle Moneybags, Set Beat at the rear.
7, 6, 1 and 4. Amber Blonde back to a Class 1. She got some good pressure up front from Rich Uncle Moneybags, and she's decided to stick the nose out in front. So well done to Trevor Miller and Luke Tarrant, $5.30, $1.90. Willnotquit, a nice run in for second, $3.50. Valentino Roc. Don't know what else he needs, Paul. And then Soobpurb Dancer's run fourth.